Well, I just wanted to get on here to talk about a memory, like in spiritual circles, people call it downloads because it's like memories that you had long forgotten. It sounds kind of more like technological, like comparing yourself to a computer. But anyways, it can also be stuff that you remember from a past life. And yes, I believe in past lives. I don't expect other people to. You know, I respect different beliefs. But I firmly believe in past lives because of experiences I've had multiple times that confirm such. But some of these that I'm going to talk about, I had during the summertime and a little bit in the springtime of last year. But then some of it just kind of, more or less, not a complete download, I would say, but just little details that added to what my mind remembered in the summer and spring of last year. So I've had briefly mentioned in a few videos a person that I do love and care about, despite there being a distance in more than one way. But I go by calling him GB because I want to respect his privacy. And in my last video, I had mentioned that GB and I have been spiritually connected since we were kids. I'm not gonna lie, there's times where I sometimes worry about if he remembers or not. But I get this weird feeling in me that he knows that there's at least something really spiritual between us. And I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like this strange knowing that I get. And like I said, I don't really know how to explain it. And part of me is not comfortable in trying to explain that just yet. Bear with me, I've been dealing with the winter weather of the northern hemisphere in a northern state. So it messes the nose and the throat. Sucks. I've always wanted to live somewhere that's more temperate. I've always wanted to live somewhere more why does that sound so weird to me? Why does it sound like I was saying like temperament or temperance instead of what I'm actually trying to say? Temperate. I think it's just because my nose is a little stuffed. I always wanted to live somewhere that, wasn't too hot, too cold. And if I had to pick, I'd prefer a little bit on the hotter side than cold, personally. So, like, tropical. But not for the commercial reasons that some people are drawn to such. And I know I'm not alone in being drawn to certain places for reasons that aren't the ones that are pushed on people. Holy crap. Yourself. Codependency destroys relationships because it slowly eats away at yourself. Anyway. I don't pay for my YouTube. I can't afford to do that right now. So, when I play my music, because that's where most of my music comes from, there's commercials involved. But anyways, this is not an easy subject for me to record myself talking about. It's very easy for me to talk about with myself for me to process amongst myself. It's actually exciting when I have memories come in that just feel so mystical. Anyhow, I'm gonna start from where I first had the realization. And not even the full realization. And I'm just gonna go chronological with this. That way, I'm hoping that if I go in a chronological order, that it'll help to where I'm more clear in what I'm trying to explain. So, I had seen him, and I almost didn't say anything to him. I almost just kept going. I didn't say anything to him. But then I had this voice in my head that said, nope, you need to talk to him. And I just felt like this strong magnetic pull, and I was like, okay, I normally don't feel that. So I went ahead and I did. I did approach him, and that was the first little initial awakening to memories that I had forgotten, past memories in this life and in the last life. And I remember feeling surreal already at that point, but I didn't put too much thought into it. We talked. It went well, but then I got cold feet and I stopped talking to him for a while. I still interacted with him on his posts on his Facebook, but I wasn't actually talking to him until a month later when he reached out to me. I think he kind of picked up on the fact that I was, without putting his name, talking about him in a good way. And so he reached out to me, and well, I did flirt with him a little bit too, though, on one of his posts. But he reached out to me, and I honestly, though, even despite him seeming to like that I was flirting on him, I didn't expect him to reach back out, because I went a whole month of not really talking to him. But he did, and I was super happy about it, and things were going really good. Everything was really cute and flirty, and he just put this feeling in me that I wasn't used to feeling. It made me want to sing and dance. And it both excited me and scared me. Because despite me having some instances in my past where I clutched on tightly to someone, they didn't give me this feeling. They actually treated me horribly, but I was just really broken, and it's classic, girl is abused by family, trickles down into girl being abused by romantic, quote-unquote romantic partners, girl tries to convince them to love her and try to show them how to love her right. Because girl has abandonment issues and because girl wasn't taught how to respect herself kind of story, you know? That was me. And I would try to tell myself that I was in love with those people. But I wasn't. I just was desperate. My subconscious was desperate to get that feeling of home that I never truly fully had, you know? Your subconscious tries to make up for things in ways that are very strange. And that's why consciousness is so important. Because it helps us figure out how to actually deal with things in a healthy way, in a productive, successful kind of way, you know? I wish I could do this video without all this horrible stuff in my throat and in my nose. I'm hoping it won't sound gross. Because I know, like, personally with me, like, for example, and it's not like I get mad at people, and I don't try to be grossed out by it, but it just, like, literally physically my body just, like, feels repulsed, and it literally physically makes my ears feel different. It makes them feel really uncomfortable. I know to people that don't understand it, and there's actually a name for it. It's considered a type of disorder. It doesn't cause, like, any mental issues, but if you don't have it, I know it can be hard for people to understand, but, like, the sound of people chewing, like, it makes my ears feel like they're gonna bleed, like, and it's upsetting, and it makes me feel really grossed out, like, I just can't. And, another one is, like, when people's mouth is super dry, and I can hear, like, the, like, sticky sounds that a mouth can make when it's dehydrated. And I feel bad that it grosses me out as bad as it does, but it does. So I really hope that, with that said, that I don't end up committing exactly the thing that I have always been bothered by. And if I do, I apologize. The only person that I ever was able to be around and hear them smacking their mouth is my son. But that recently changed, and I felt really bad that it did, because he was used to me being okay with it with him. I mean, I would still try to tell him just, like, for practice, you know, but, like, it didn't bother me with him, and I figured, well, it's because he's just a little boy, he's my son, and I'm sure that has something to do with it. Maybe just, like, I don't know, it's weird. I don't know why it changed and started bothering me, but it did. And I, you know, approached it to him in a very kind and explanatory kind of manner, because I didn't want him to feel hurt. Unfortunately, he still felt a little bit hurt, but I just reassured him and re-explained to him, and he's like, well, try. And so he does try, and I've noticed an improvement. But anyways, back on topic. Where were we? Man. Boy, we didn't get very far into it yet, honestly. Talked with him. I approached him. The month thing, he got back in touch with me. Things were cute and flirty. Oh, yes. And I was talking about how he made me feel, and how no one's ever made me feel that way before. And how it was both exciting but also intimidating. I was also intimidated. How do I explain this without it being misunderstood? There was more than just how he made me feel that intimidated me, but it didn't intimidate me as much as it felt magical. how he made me feel. I was more embracing it than intimidated. Now, like I said, it was a little... I still felt some intimidation. And I felt intimidated after my first night talking with him, too, because I was worried about him being too good for me. As much as I hate to admit that.